Gonna hit record. And now let's go to Humble Bundle. Alexandra, give me a month that is not June. Any other month of the year but June. May. Okay. Okay. What do we got? Ooh. Okay. You got a choice of some kind of deck building game or some kind of amusement park simulator. Amusement park it is. Send me an email to send it to. Okay. Copy. I choose you. Gift to a friend. Send an email. Control V. Go check your email because you are the proud owner of ooh, wait, there's more. Claim extra content. I'm going. There's even so. You are the proud owner of Jurassic World Evolution, where you can apparently build parks that maybe don't let the dinosaurs get out and maybe do. Also, because what would I have to use for this? There is a deluxe dinosaur pack that comes with it. So you get even more dinosaurs to kill your park goers. I believe that's the entire purpose of Jurassic World. And as we've seen over this past year, we're on what, 5 or 6 Jurassic Park movies, and you ask yourself, why would they keep rebuilding this if every time it kills people? They do it. Come on, it's money. So okay, that's my cynical take for today. So let's talk about some stuff. First, I got to get rid of that. Assignments. Let's go to assignments. First, assignments. New reading quiz is up. This week's reading quiz is the Glassner, as per usual, and then Stanley Parable and Beginner's Guide and Dr. Langeskov. Oh, and the Transmedia book too. Got to make sure you're still reading that, even though I haven't talked about it, because I haven't talked about it. So I'm putting it in the quizzes. Capitalism. Yes, exactly. Alexandra and Alistair. So don't forget to read the Transmedia book. You will thank me during our final project for having read that entire book. Next, Right Club. Let's talk about Right Club. Did we have patterns? At this point, gloves are off on Right Club. So if you were really on the nose, like, I don't know, you said Civil War gun. That's pretty on the nose. Um, I would um, I would give you a 1 because you showed up, but really, um, if so think of it as being at that right club bar, um, and the judges tell you to sit down. Now you can have another beer. It's fine. Um, it's not a big deal, but um so we still had some on the nose stuff. We had a lot of, like, this could be anywhere. Um Not necessarily Civil War, like oh, I don't know. I don't want to cite bad ones, but either you didn't, well, it's much more likely that you listed generic clothing pieces or generic items, that, if I said it's an American Revolution game, would work fine. If I said it's fantasy, orcs and humans, it would work fine. So I was looking for Civil War-y stuff, and there may be oh, I don't know, muskets, +1 muskets in this game, but I'm looking for the named items, right? So good ones that we had. Um, this is kind of on the nose, but Union Army brogans, um, just because they found the word brogan. That's not a word you come across every day. Um, and some of you may have to look up what a brogan is. Um, but that's exactly the bread and butter of the poor put upon writer at an MMO, who has to come up with 50 names for shoes, right? Uh, Gloves of Reconstruction, Uncle Tom's Novel, which I kind of liked, because I imagine somebody carrying around a book instead of a gun, um, and affecting the world with a book, which is kind of a cool game mechanic suddenly, all in the name of a thing. Robert E. Lee's White Handkerchief, which is a tad long, but I appreciate the sentiment. Um, a More Perfect Union Form. I thought that was funny. A More Perfect Union Form. Um, uh, Bull Runners. I got that one a lot. Um, and you know what? It's a darn fine name for a shoe in an MMO. Um, it's one of my favorites. It's a chestnut. I've gotten that one for years. Uh, Fort Some Tourniquet. Fort Some Tourniquet. Some tourniquet. Some Fort Some Tourniquet. It's hard to say, but you kind of get it. Uh, Grant's Half Smoked Cigar. I like that because it's not your typical equipable. Um, the Battle of First Bull Gun. Nice with the using gun instead of run. Shiloh Stompers again. And my favorite thing, the Burnsides, because this is my favorite Civil War fact. Uh, here we go. Come on. Ambrose Burnside, who was the former governor of Rhode Island. Um, I am going to share this with you, just because the picture of him is glorious. Share screen. There we go. That is Ambrose Burnside. And if and in fact, what we think of as sideburns are named after this man. Sideburns, Burnside. Get it? They're on the side. So he has glorious facial hair, um, and I appreciate it. Um, and every year I wait for someone to say Burnside sideburns, which someone in the 4 o'clock did. Um, maybe the secret is out and on some, like, I don't know, quiz cheat code, whatever. I found one of those, like, all tests. You can look up tests for any course online and get them all online. And so I found one of those this summer, and I looked up uh, uh, all the courses that I teach, and uh, the no one had bothered to put any quizzes on there, which I appreciate, because if you have to cheat on these quizzes, really, come on. So Burnside sideburns, but maybe, there's some ratemyprofessor.com place that said uh he has been waiting for years for someone to say Burnside sideburns. um on the other hand, maybe you're just geniuses like me and said, oh my god, Burnside sideburns would be the greatest thing. I'm not sure. Okay. So that's this week's Right Club. Let's look at, well, that's this past week's Right Club. Let's look at what's coming up. And we're gonna share this. Your screen. Share. As usual, this is due Thursday at midnight. And the reading quiz is due Friday at midnight. So you have to write 3 barks for a real-time strategy game based on classic Disney animation characters. So what is a bark? In real-time strategy games or MOBAs, when you click on a unit and it makes a sound, that is a bark. When you in first or third person games, when you come near um, a person, an NPC, and they say something, uh, that is a bark. So, what I used to be an adventurer, but then I took an arrow to the knee is a bark. Power overwhelming is a bark. But yub yub is a bark. Trying to think what else. Uh, I tend towards real time strategy games. I'm tempted to fire up a real time strategy game and start clicking on things, but I'm not going to. It's high noon. Is that a bark? What's that from? It's high noon. Overwatch. Oh, I don't play Overwatch. So barks happened in first person games, in third person games, in isometric games. And one of our challenges as a writer is to come up with lots of them that evoke character, right? So theoretically, when I click on when I click into a crowd and I'm looking for one character, I know I got the right character because they made the right sound, right? They're the old is it Space Marines? What do you want? Right? Maybe it's Space Marines. I keep thinking it's Command and Conquer. Uh, the sniper in Command and Conquer had a good one. Let's see. Command and Conquer Sniper Bark. Where is it? Game unavailable. Nope. Sniper team. GDI snipers. No. Nah, that's just a video. Okay, never mind. So anyway, your job is to come up with barks for Disney characters. Oh, what did I have here? Let's see. Oh, here's. Oh, I probably didn't. Wait, stop share. Let's share with sound. Otherwise, so here are for the Space Marines.
Commander, standing by. Jacked up and good to go.
Jacked up and good to go. Right? Okay, I don't need to play them all. But those are all classic StarCraft barks. Okay. We'll stop share. And actually, why did I stop the share? I got to go back to here. Oh, I'm losing it today. Had something for lunch that's making my stomach royal. Share screen. That's probably too much information. I apologize. Okay. So the other big question here is what counts as Disney animation? So I have laid out here a timeline of all Disney animation. So we have the Golden Age. Here, actually, can I bring it up? No, I can't. Come on, why can't I bring it up? Let's go to Files, Disney Animation JPEG. Here we go. Now we can see it. Snow White, Pinocchio, Fantasia, Golden Age. Then we got the Three Amigos, or no, Saludos Amigos, the Three Caballeros, the Ichabod Crane, the Headless Horseman stuff. This is, notice you don't even think of this stuff as Disney because it was during World War II and they were mostly doing shorts for the Department of Defense, having Mickey tell soldiers not to get STDs. Then the war ends, and we've got Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, Sleeping Beauty, what most people think of as classic Disney. And then things start going downhill. They're not great. Aristocats, Fox and the Hound, Robin Hood. I don't even know what that one is. Great Mouse Detective, Winnie the Pooh, Rescuers, Oliver and Company. And Oliver and Company is probably the nadir of the post-war age. And then we get the Renaissance with Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King. Those are the four biggies. And then the lesser Pocahontas, Hunchback, Emperor's New Groove, Mulan, and Tarzan. And then we go into another slump with when we start doing 3D. Oh no, Emperor's New Groove is post-Renaissance. Oh, that's Hercules, sorry. Revival era is when things start getting good again. Tangled, Wreck-It Ralph, Moana. And the new era is that where we are with Frozen 2 and Wreck-It Ralph. I would like to say, just to keep to the rules. Right, Club 4. No to players. Where did I write it? I wrote it somewhere. Classic Disney animation. No Marvel, no Star Wars, no Fox, no Pixar, no any other studio that they've now bought. I don't care. Sigourney Weaver is not a Disney princess. Um, don't even. Okay. Um, so uh, stick with the ones with the castle in the front of the movie. Okay. Uh, these shorter is always better because think about this. And this is the challenge with a bark. Uh, while we're playing this game, we are going to listen to this bark. We're going to hear this bark hundreds of times, hundreds of times. Um, and uh, there are beloved barks like, what do you want? Or yup, yup. And there are hated barks like I took an arrow to the knee. Actually, I took an arrow to the knee was kind of patched out. It was basically at the beginning of Skyrim. Um, it wasn't patched out so much, but they didn't have enough barks for guards. Um, they probably had single digits of barks, and uh, you saw so many guards in your wandering around Skyrim that you heard those 7 barks 8 bazillion times. And the I took an arrow to the knee is a little odd, and it's a little long, and so everybody was like, that's weird. All these guys took arrows to the knee. And yes, it is a Norse um, euphemism for I got married. Um, so they're not, they didn't, all these poor guards did not really get shot in the knee. There are not hordes of archers wandering around shooting guards in knees. Um, it is a euphemism for a meta significant other and a settled down. Um, so it became weird because you heard it so often, and then basically in subsequent patches they didn't get rid of it, but they just added dozens more barks for guards. So they should suggest that the character in the they should suggest the character in the situation of the game. So um, don't just take a Disney character, something that they're famous for saying, and call it done. Cold never bothered me anyway. Uh, yeah, we get it. That's what Elsa says. Um, but try to be a little more um, mix and match. So, uh, what does Elsa say? I'm gonna wreck it. Exactly. What does Elsa say when you just ask her to go over there? Um, Cold never bothered me anyway. No. Uh, it's also like, what does she say on an attack? Right? What does she say? Um, she should say something very short when you click on her. Hello. Do you want to build a snowman? Ha. Um, uh, and then what's an attack? You can mix it up. You can explain. You can identify the character, but hopefully the quote will uh, will be more recognizable. Will allow me to say exactly what it is. Um, the best ones in this one are generally some variation of the famous quote with a situation that you'd get in a game. So I believe it says it's a real-time strategy game. So think I'm looking down at this little person and clicking on them and sending them about. Okay. Any questions? Okay. I used to get much more pushback on Disney stuff. I don't know. Now they own everything. Anything else? No. Oh, yes. One last thing for tomorrow. Going back to this, share assignments. New assignment is up. The adventure that y'all have played now, called Gnome Improvement. Get it? Ho ho ho! I'm dying. Um, uh, is available for your downloading pleasure. It's on Canvas. Just download it and give it a read. Okay. Um, so, so tomorrow we will talk about the written adventure rather than today, where we talk about the played adventure. So I'm going to stop the share. And I'm going to ask y'all, what happened? How'd it go? Did anybody? So first question, did any group die entirely? A total party kill? Did everybody? Is there any group who died? Nope. Okay. Next. How? Someone want to tell me a story? Someone want to tell me something cool that happened? Please stop eating everything you find. Okay, Isaac. Can you can somebody unmute and tell me a story? I want to hear about your adventures.
I can
got
tell
one.
a story.
You go
Okay.
first.
When we descended into I think they're called the ruins, and we were opening all the different drawers to the desk, we found a rust-colored bag. And as I was Norman, I didn't really care about anything else. I was totally fine with doing whatever. So I stuck my hand into the bag, pulled out a fuzzy orb, rolled a d8, and I caused a bear to appear, which was like 4 times as large as us. And we were in that first little room, which was like a 5x4, if that. So the bear took up like a large chunk of this room. And we wanted to continue to move through the ruins with this bear, but we couldn't get him through the doorway. So I came up with the very obscure meme of Nebby get back in the bag, which is a meme from Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Okay.
And so we eventually just had Nebby the bear, which we brought around in the ruins. We got him through the door. He just destroyed the little mushroom people things. And he did a very good job of stopping Lucia, I think her name is, in like that final battle. And so Nebby became our group mascot.
Okay. What's her name? I think it's Lumba. Lucia. That's it. So basically it's a bag of pull out a thing, right? Pull out an animal. So I haven't had one of those in 5th edition. But I remember it being tiny little animals. That seems like a big animal.
It was a big bear.
Was that on some chart or something, or you rolled a d8? But also, don't you have to roll a d8 every time you pull something out of the bag to see what shows up? But it's more fun.
Yeah, It was so in the bag. There's 3 of these fuzzy orbs. When we pulled one out, there was only one for that day. So we
Right.
rolled a d8, and it ended up being the bear, which took up 4 squares. Yeah, it's the rust bag of tricks.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Cool. It sounds like you had an easy time because you had a bear friend.
absolutely.
Okay. Alistair, you had a story for us.
Yeah. So our party consisted of Jemmy, Abel, I was Abel, wearing the dragon mask the whole time, and we also had Lorelei and Said, and we were at the final battle with Lucio. But before that battle had started, Jemmy got into like the doorway that separated her from like the area that the humans were in, and so and so when we rolled initiative, Jemmy went first, followed by me. And the first thing Jemmy did was use Sanctuary to keep the humans away from the rest of us while we fought Lucio. And when it was my turn, I managed to get up onto the table and then cast Burning Hands, which set the chair on between me and Lucio on fire. And in my next turn, I picked up that chair, took some fire damage, but then I threw it at her, and it was awesome.
Okay.
I was actually Jemmy in that, and I want to elaborate because it was, I think, more funny than Alistair made it sound. What I did was Sanctuary means that they have to make an extra roll to attack you. But what I did was I body blocked the door so that the 2 humans physically couldn't get to Lucio. And then I cast Sanctuary on myself and also used the dodge action every single turn. So they had to pass basically a will save, and then they had to attack with disadvantage, which meant they had to get 3 rolls in order to even be able to hit me. So I was just standing there in the door, unable to attack on my Sanctuary would dispel, just staring down these 2 people who are twice my size, while my party beat up on an old woman.
Right. So you were totally safe, and that allowed. But after trying to hit you once, why did he keep trying to go after you?
Because I was in the door. They couldn't get to my party. I
Okay.
was physically blocking them.
Got it. Who was eating everything you find?
So my party, we basically we made it our tradition that whenever we would kill something, like the wolves, or there was a giant moth, I believe it was, we would kill it, and then we'd find a way to cook it and eat it.
Okay. Did that include sentient beings?
Well, we didn't eat the humans because
Okay,
we
good.
wanted to like interrogate them.
Okay. And so I see Bryce. Bryce finally brings up the kids. One of his friends lost a rap battle to an 8-year-old. Bryce, can you tell me about the various kid stuff? Did you guys get the money from the kids? Did you win? Did you lose? Did you say screw it, I got 50 gold and I'm out? Or did you go for more?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry, just okay. So we mostly got, so we kind of just got the money we needed and got out, but that was mainly because it was actually our third thing we attempted to do to get money, because up to this point, we had someone sell a toy to a child for 5 gold, and then we had beaten another child in a climbing contest for 25 gold, and then we were challenged to a rap battle, and then we had someone in our team set up a side betting ring and we bet on ourselves, only to get absolutely trashed by this 8-year-old in a rap battle. But we weren't not one to take that line down. The person who set up the betting ring in the first place, that I've read at some point they threw 4 candles into the pot.
Mhm.
And then not one to take unknown. The person who set up the betting ring in the first place then stepped in to challenge the kid to a rap battle for another round. Except they had negative modifiers to performance.
So
We lost twice in a row.
so I'm also curious. Did anybody try actually rapping or at least making up things that vaguely rhymed?
We did because our rolls were getting so terrible that we had to try and take any bonuses we could get, and it just still didn't help.
Okay, so that's one thing that the game allows if the group isn't like comfortable or uh good at doing things that their characters might be good or comfortable doing, like rapping. God knows I can't sword fight, but I have sword fought many a thing. If I can roll a die, right? And the dice they tell me that I did amazingly on that rap. But if I say, hey man, I'm like, somebody give me a beat, I'm gonna go. And I actually rap. Now I'm curious, DMs, how did you deal with people who actually rapped? What did you give them for doing that? I see a bunch of people tried doing it. DMs, what'd you do for them? I forget. Does it say to do something? +3 to the roll. +3 bonus because that was written in the module, but normally I would do advantage. +3. Yeah, it says do +3. So if they got up and they tried to rap, no matter what, you give them +3. What if they try to rap and they're terrible? Do you still give them +3? This is always the problem with this sort of thing. Yeah, an attempt is an attempt. What if they go and they're amazing? Do you give them more? Do you ever say, whoa, like they go after the 8-year-olds and they're like really good? Do you give them more than +3? Because remember, dungeon masters, you can do whatever you want. You would have to subtract 3 because the player would be too strong otherwise. I don't know. I kind of love number one, just rewarding an attempt, right? But if somebody is amazing, I'd give them more. Once had a player in 15 minutes write a 3-verse song about Richard Nixon. I didn't even make them roll. Yeah. I've been playing with this, not D&D, some other Dungeon World variant. And the guy playing the bard, every week he would have a new song that he sang, and we were like, do you like spend the week writing these songs? And he's like, nah, I just kind of come up with them on the spot. And sometimes he'd like play ukulele with it, and he's not a musician. He was just kind of futzing about. And he would always get bonuses, and even better, he would give us all bigger bonuses because he was good at that sort of thing. So we always, one of the great things about D&D is if a player doesn't have a talent, but makes a valiant attempt, you reward them for the valiant attempt. And if they do have a talent, you reward them more, because that's cool. Share that with us. It brings something to the table, right? Everybody's fun with that. So also though, I want to one more question. How many of you, can you raise hands, click the little raise hand buttons? How many of you have never played D&D or any kind of tabletop role playing before? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, most of you have played. More are appearing. We still have not made half. Okay. We've got about 8 out of 26, although we are reduced this week or today. You can put your hands down, however you click those. I also, like, people seem to have had a good time, which is fine. But if anybody did not have a good time, did not like playing this, that's great. Well, it's not great, but sorry, sorry we made you not have a good time for a good evening. But it's also here. I gotta lower Alan's hand, or it's gonna bug me. If does anybody who's never played before, or even if you have played before and don't like it, I know that you don't have to, maybe y'all love it, but anybody want to speak to what you don't like about D&D? Because there are lots of things I don't like about D&D. What are the problems with the game? Scheduling. Yep. Getting all those people together is a pain in the butt. What about downtime? Did you feel like I have a session with 7 people? Oh, we haven't run in like 3 weeks. Trying to get everyone to have the spotlight. Yes. I can't tell you how many times there's been like, we had a mage, first level mage, and basically a fight would start, he would cast magic missile, and then he'd be done. This was older versions of D&D, but he'd cast magic missile, and then he'd be done. And if he got bored, he would run in with his dagger, and inevitably he'd get bonked on the head or whatever. Somebody would stab him and he'd go down and be unconscious for the rest of the battle. Trying to let everyone and not talking over people, that's especially hard online, because in person somehow we filter that. Balancing is kind of annoying. Most of my friends who play go big on min-maxing at the expense of role play. Also, I wish more classes had bonus actions and or more HP in early levels. Yeah. One of the things that this variant does is basically they say, okay, you start when you put your character together, you start with 2 traits. So you might be boastful and loyal, or you might be lawful, or yeah, lawful and uh a perfectionist, right? And at the end of every session, the DM goes through and you take the last 10, 15 minutes and you say, okay, what are your traits? When did you demonstrate that you were boastful in this? And if you can name a time, then okay, yeah, you get an experience point. And the same was for class. If you're a thief, I was a thief, so I remember this. You solve something through stealth or trickery. You solve a problem. When did you do that tonight? And if you can name a thing that you did that way, you get an XP. And that way, after the first session or two, you start thinking, okay, can I be boastful? Can I save this can I do something with stealth? Um, how do I embody my character rather than what are the best numbers on my sheet, right? So this variant actually kind of pushes you to role play. Nelson says, I guess as a DM, I worry some people don't have fun due to combat. I try to mix up what I do and make combat dynamic, but some people just do the same attack and I can tell it feels repetitive to them. Yeah, absolutely. I last time I played 5th edition, I played a paladin, and every time I would be like, oh, I got all these spells. I can use these spells, or I could smite them. I'm going to smite them, right? And every time you smite something, you use a spell slot, right? So that's one spell I can't cast. And really, guess what? Paladins aren't spellcasters. They go up and they hit things real hard, and that's what it is. But giving me that decision is almost false. It should be just smite them, because that's what you're going to do anyway. So yeah, one of the things that I tried, well, that Andrew tried, is the stuff with the kids is all skill based, and so should allow you to role play a bit and have some fun, just uh, uh, solving problems without weapons, right? Um, so there's that. And then that first fight with the hornet or whatever it is, the big stinger thing, that's one thing. And honestly, you're lucky if it lasts 2 rounds. I mean, how long did that the giant yellow jacket last for you all? I thought it would go down. Yeah, 2 attacks, 2 hits. Oh, you snuck up on it and killed it immediately. Okay. So, and there are players who live for let me have a little figure on the map, and say, oh, I can move 5 spaces, and then I'm within range to cast my fireball and blah blah blah, and it becomes this kind of tactical game. And then there are others who would much rather not have a map and not have little figures. I've got piles of little figures around here because I like painting them. Here, I'm gonna get a figure. Let's see. What do I have? These are mid paint, so they're not done yet. But I got a little goblin there. He's and I got a griffin. He's still in mid paint. Anyway, love this stuff. I miss I miss being at a table and getting out all my little toys, right? It's a chance for grown men to play with little toys. So okay. Whereas other times you just want to say, can I am I close enough to run up and hit it? And you're all sitting on couches and yeah, you're close enough. Go. So theoretically, 5th edition allows for both kinds of play. I like to, especially to accommodate people who have never played before, to give a taste of all kinds of play that are available in D&D. So the skill-based role-playing stuff, the tactical move around on a map stuff, and the kind of in-between stuff, right? Where maybe Lucho, what's her name again? Lucio. Maybe we could talk to her, right? Maybe. Okay, so tomorrow, read the adventure, and we'll compare. I really want you to tell me tomorrow. This is the question for you. What's in that adventure that you had no idea about? What is, you never even touched on it? Some backstory or some weird thing that you're like, what? And what was in your adventure? What happened that is not contained anywhere in the text? And see if you can give me one example of each. And I'll ask you that tomorrow. Okay. Cool. See you all tomorrow.